I want to ask you, Dr. Drew, about the disgusting hypocrisy we're seeing now amongst our leaders, amongst our public figures in dealing with COVID. We've talked ad nauseum over the past few days about AOC at the Met Gala and Mayor de Blasio and Upper West Side Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney without their masks on, trying to lecture everybody on social justice values and how to be better citizens. Meanwhile, there is a mask mandate, even if you're vaccinated inside the Met, but the rules don't apply to the rich and famous. You got San Francisco Mayor London Breed. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I mean, like her hypocrisy, not wearing that mask inside of the Black Cat nightclub. And the excuse was, I was feeling the spirit when I heard Tony. Like, all you have to do is just say, I was feeling the spirit when you listen to Tony. And apparently you can take off your mask or have a drink, have a cocktail within 50 feet of you, which is very likely in my case, so great. Then you had the Hollywood Emmys and all these actors, despite the indoor mask mandate in LA, not wearing it. Meanwhile, the kids in K through 12 all over LA have their masks on, even if vaccinated. And I look at all of this and think, why aren't the regular Joes and Janes rising up? Why are we okay with this?
I don't think they are. I think people are taking note. It's of course where everyone's in tribes, right? And so if your tribe violates one of these mandates, well, they had a reason to, and that's cognitive dissonance, right? You're reasoning your way from conclusion to try to justify what that person did. But I would argue that Governor Newsom at the French Laundry without a mask in close quarters with friends at a dinner party indoors during an absolute lockdown was case one of people rising up and having had enough of it. I mean, the recall effort was directly related to that event. So people have had it. They really have. The problem is, though, they're still in their tribes and they're still reasoning from conclusion. And so those that have had it are coming up against people that are continuing to tell them, look, you're just unenlightened. You don't know better. We know. We're going to tell you. It's such a horrible, you said narcissism, what we would talk about. And it is narcissistic, but it's also histrionic. Everyone's almost delusional in their thinking. There's a rigidity in people's thinking now that, for me, has moved past straight up narcissism, which is, hey, listen to me, I know what's going on here. Usually a narcissist at least is sly enough to follow their own mandates. This has become something a little bit different, and it's a little more out of control, it seems to me.
You know, Nicki Minaj was all over the news, of course, last week for saying she didn't want to go to the Met Gala because she didn't want to have to get a vaccine, and then told some alleged story about her cousin's friend's testicles and alleged impotence after the vaccine.
Right.
Unverified, but that's what she said. And boy, oh boy, did she take it from all corners on the left. I mean, the right sort of was, I think, bemused that the left was attacking one of its own. You know, previously she was this goddess because she's done these very sort of R-rated songs about women and so on. Now suddenly they attack their own because you can't buy insurance from the woke. And she got mad. She was ticked off. She got a dose of sort of what happens to you when you cross these arbitrary lines that are drawn. And here's just a little bit of what she said she thought was going on. Listen.
80% of the artists that y'all following right now feel like I feel about the vaccine and are too afraid to speak on it. If they assassinate me and assassinate my character and make me look crazy or stupid, guess what? No one else will ever ask questions again. It's disgusting that a person can't speak about just questions or thoughts they're having about something that they're going to have to put in their body.
Well, she's not wrong about that.
She couldn't be more right. God bless her. God bless Nicki Minaj. I don't know if you saw her famous marbles tweet too, which was also fantastic.
About, if you're a black person and a Democrat, you'd have to put marbles up your ass if the party told you to do it.
If they tell you to, that's it. And so it's like she is so right. It's sort of an interesting movement that particularly many African American friends of mine have been pushing for a long time. But just think for yourself, raise questions, talk about things. And poor Nicki has gotten caught in the maelstrom. And I listen, I would love to set her straight on the testicle story. And I would love to deal with her. I would love to talk to her about vaccine hesitancy, because I bet you I could get through to her. I know how to deal with resistant people. That's my job when I'm dealing with addicts and alcoholics. The way you deal with them is not the way Twitter deals with them, and not the way the world is dealing with poor Nicki right now. You could get her to come along and get a vaccine and maybe even be a vaccine advocate. This is not the way, everybody. This is case one on how bad a job we're doing. And by the way, totally defend her right and privilege to say anything she wants in the meantime.
She did not come out and say, hell no, never. She came out and said, I don't know. I still want to do my research.
She's thinking about it.
I know some critics are like, the research is done. What are you doing? And it's like, well, maybe Nicki Minaj has been a little busy and didn't look at all your studies and really has to just kind of postpone this because she's a young and healthy woman. But she is 100% right that if they make an example out of her, then others are expected to get in line. She's got 160 million Instagram followers, 22 million Twitter followers. So if she can be shamed into silence, so anybody can be.
That's right. That's right. And I think she is fighting on behalf of others who don't have the same position of power that she is in, who would like to be able to speak their mind. And it is this whole phenomenon that we've moved into. I don't know if you and I have really talked about this, but the idea that you can't speak, you can't talk,